Hey everyone, Kavemi here with another wild Reddit story. This one's a gut punch of betrayal and sweet payback when a sister snags a fiancé, only for fate to flip the script years later. Grab some chips, settle in, and let's dive into this drama with Minecraft's chill block building vibes humming along. The title? My sister stole my rich fiancé, but 7 years later, I won big. My younger sister double-crossed me by marrying my wealthy fiancé. 7 years on, she boasted about her perfect life. I just smiled. Have you met my husband? You know that feeling when you're bracing for a tough moment, but deep down, you sense the universe is about to drop a truth bomb. That was me at my mum's funeral, heart heavy with loss, yet a strange calm settling in as I waited for her arrival. 7 years had passed since my sister Lila stole my fiancé Marcus, the millionaire I thought was my forever. I hadn't seen either of them since. But when they walked in, Lila flashing a massive diamond ring with her usual smug grin, she had no clue who was waiting to greet her. The look on her face when she saw my husband. Pure gold. Mum was the heart of our family, the anchor that kept us steady. Growing up in a cosy home outside Seattle, she taught me resilience and grace. Our connection was deep, growing stronger over time. Even after I moved to a sleek condo in downtown Seattle and started my job as a brand strategist, we talked almost daily. She was my guide, my cheerleader, my rock. When she was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer 9 months ago, my world shattered. Despite treatments, her time was short, yet Mum faced it with incredible strength, more worried about us than herself. Her final days were peaceful, spent in the home where she raised us, holding my hand, whispering I'd find peace. 6 years earlier, at 30, my life looked perfect on the surface. Great job, solid friends, nice place. But something was missing. I worked 60-hour weeks, dated casually, but nothing stuck. Then, at a fundraiser through my friend Tara, I met Marcus Kane. At 36, he was charismatic, sharp, with a warm smile that lit up the room. A self-made tech mogul, he was the kind of success story magazines loved. Our spark was instant. We bonded over jazz, adventure, and big dreams. After our first date at a chic rooftop bistro, I called Mom gushing, "I've found someone amazing." Our romance soared. Weekends in the San Juan Islands, jazz clubs, private dinners. Marcus was thoughtful, showering me with gifts, planning lavish outings. After 18 months, he proposed with a 5-carat emerald ring during a sunset dinner on a chartered boat. I said yes instantly. My parents were thrilled, especially Mum, who started dreaming up a grand wedding. Marcus's wealth could make it happen, and Mum urged me to go all out. Then there was Lila, my sister, 2 years younger. Our bond was always tricky, close as kids, but with a constant undercurrent of rivalry. If I had something, she wanted it. Toys, friends, praise. If I achieved anything, she had to top it. Mum tried to balance us with one-on-one time. Despite our past, I picked Lila as my maid of honour, hoping, as Mum believed, it would bring us closer as adults. When I introduced her to Marcus at a family barbecue, she was all charm, laughing at his jokes, touching his shoulder. I brushed it off as her usual flirtatious act. At our engagement party, held at my parents' craftsman-style home, Lila helped Mom string up lanterns and set out roses. I caught her eyeing Marcus across the yard, but when our eyes met, she'd flash a quick smile and toast me. Later, as we cleaned up, Mum pulled me aside in the pantry. "Clara, sweetheart," she said, stacking leftover desserts. "Lila seems very fond of Marcus." "She's just being friendly, Mum," I replied, rinsing wine glasses. "She's seeing that biotech guy, Nate." Mum nodded, unconvinced. "Just watch out, honey. You know how Lila gets when she wants something." I hugged her, insisting, "We're grown-ups now. Lila's happy for me." How wrong I was. How painfully, heartbreakingly wrong. 2 months before the wedding, Marcus started acting off. He worked late, texting at odd hours, blaming global clients. Our weekly date nights got cancelled for urgent meetings. When we were together, he was distant, glued to his phone, barely listening. Worse, he began nitpicking things he once loved. My laugh was too bold, my favourite green dress suddenly dull, my habit of sketching before bed now annoying because the pencil scratched. Meanwhile, Lila called more, asking about wedding plans. I want it to be perfect for you, big sis, she'd say, though Mom handled most of it. Lila even volunteered to meet vendors when I was swamped at work. One Tuesday at a fancy French bistro, Marcus barely looked at me, giving one-word replies to my stories. His phone buzzed 6 times and I snapped. Is something else more important? I asked, keeping my tone light despite my frustration. Just work, he muttered, flipping his phone face down. You know, big project deadlines. Later that week, folding his laundry, I caught a whiff of unfamiliar perfume on his jacket. Sweet, heavy, not my subtle scent. When I asked, he said he'd been in meetings with a client, Clara Voss, who wore strong perfume and hugged him goodbye. It sounded reasonable. I wanted to trust him. Over coffee, I vented to Tara. Every couple gets shaky before a wedding, she said, sipping her latte. Jake and I bickered non-stop before ours and we're solid now. But my gut wouldn't settle. Mum noticed my tension at our weekly brunch. You seem off, Clara, she said, squeezing my hand. Wedding stress or something else? I forced a smile. Just finalising details, I'm fine. But I wasn't. I tried harder booking a couples massage, buying new outfits, cooking his favourite, meals. The harder I tried, the colder he got. Then came the venue walkthrough Marcus was excited about. That morning he bailed, citing a last-minute investor call. Lila can go, he said. She knows what I like. My stomach dropped. How did my sister know his preferences better than me? Still, I let her tag along. The next day, cleaning Marcus's SUV before a party, I found a gold hoop earring wedged in the passenger seat. I knew it instantly. Lila's, a gift from our grandma worn at my engagement party. When I showed Marcus, he didn't flinch. Lila must have dropped it when I drove her to the bakery last week, he said smoothly. She mentioned losing one. You didn't mention driving her, I said quietly. Didn't I? Must have forgotten. It was no big deal. I called Lila, and her story matched his perfectly. Too perfectly. Oh, thank goodness, she said. I've been searching for that earring. Marcus gave me a ride when my car broke down. That night I lay awake, mind racing. Were they rehearsed? Was I crazy? Stress ate at me. I lost weight. Dark circles bloomed under my eyes. I started therapy without telling Marcus. A month before the wedding, he suggested we delay. I'm worried about you, Clara. You're not yourself. Maybe we're moving too fast. I broke down, begging to know what I'd done, how to fix it. He hugged me, saying it was fine, but his eyes were empty. That night I woke at 2 a.m. to an empty bed. From the spare room I heard Marcus whisper, "Not now. She'll hear. I know soon." The next day I decided to surprise him with lunch at his office. My dad, Owen, called as I left my condo. "Clara, are you eating? Your mum says you're too thin. We're worried." "I'm okay, Dad. Just nerves. I'm taking Marcus lunch now." "Good, that man better treat you right." If only he knew. At Marcus's building, the guard waved me up. In the elevator to the 10th floor, I smoothed my skirt, clutching a bag with his favourite deli sandwich. At reception, Marcus's assistant, Lena, looked startled. "Clara, we didn't expect you." Her eyes darted to his closed door. "He's in a meeting." "I brought lunch," I said, holding up the bag. "I'll wait." Lena stepped in front of me. "He asked not to be disturbed. Let me tell him you're here." Her nervousness screamed warning. "Is he alone, Lena?" Her pause said it all. I pushed past and opened his door. The sight burned into me. Marcus leaning on his desk, hands on Lila's hips, her arms around his neck, kissing deeply. They didn't notice me for agonising seconds, enough to see the ease in their touch, proof of many moments like this. When the door clicked shut, they jumped apart. 3 stunned faces in a nightmare. "Clara," Marcus stammered, fixing his tie. "This isn't what it seems." Lila didn't bother lying. "We didn't mean for this to happen," she said, chin high. "How long?" I asked, voice steady. Marcus looked at Lila, then me. "Let's talk privately." "How long?" I repeated. "Since the engagement party," Lila admitted. 5 months. Half our engagement. While I picked venues and dresses, they betrayed me. Marcus moved behind his desk like it was a business deal. "I didn't plan this, Clara." Feelings shift. "After what?" "Our wedding," I snapped, voice rising. "I was going to tell you." he said, using his smooth pitch voice. The lunch bag slipped from my hand. I trusted you both. Lila looked ashamed. Barely. It just happened, Clara. We tried to stop it. Don't call me that, I said, her old nickname cutting deep. Nothing just happens for 5 months. Every lie, every glance, every time you smiled at me, you chose this. Marcus hit the intercom. Lena, come in. She entered, avoiding my gaze. Please show Clara out. She's upset. I'm leaving on my own, I said, pride holding me together, though I was breaking. You're perfect for each other. In the elevator, tears came. By my car, I could barely breathe through sobs. The drive home blurred. I called Mom from my bathroom floor, crying too hard to speak clearly. My parents arrived in 45 minutes, using their spare key when I couldn't open the door. Mom held me as I spilled everything. Dad pacing, face flushed. I'll kill him, he growled, clutching his chest. Owen, your heart, Mum warned, her own face furious. Days passed in a fog of pain. Mum helped cancel vendors. Dad sorted finances. I returned Marcus's ring to his doorman, unable to face him. Lila had moved in. Her clothes, photos, everywhere mine used to be. Marcus's email about splitting assets was cold, noting Lila helped list my things. The betrayal ran deeper than I imagined. Friends told me they'd met secretly when I worked late or travelled. Lila pursued him, making excuses to see him, sending messages behind my back. The gossip spread. Some friends stood by me, others sided with Marcus's influence. Their silence hurt almost as much as the betrayal. Mum was my anchor, cooking when I couldn't eat, listening to my rants, staying over when loneliness crushed me. She tried mediating with Lila, hosting tense family dinners that ended in silence or arguments. At one, Lila snapped when I didn't pass her the bread. You always got everything, Clara. Grades, job, condo. I finally beat you to something. My fiancé wasn't a trophy, I said, voice breaking. He was my future. Mum set down her glass. Lila Grace Harper, apologise now. For what? Being real? Marcus loves me. I stood, tossing my napkin. I'm done, Mom, I'm sorry. That was my last dinner with Lila. The strain worsened Dad's heart condition, requiring new meds and visits. Mom aged visibly, her eyes lined, desperate to hold us together. 6 months after the betrayal, I hit bottom. My therapist diagnosed depression, suggesting meds. Work suffered. I lost a big client after crying during a pitch. My boss suggested a break, but Seattle's memories choked me. When a brand director role opened in Denver, I jumped at it. The interview went well. My desperation mistaken for drive. I got the job. Mum helped pack my condo, wrapping keepsakes carefully. As we sorted, she asked, "Will you ever forgive Lila?" I folded a scarf, avoiding her eyes. I can't, Mum. Not now, maybe never. Forgiveness isn't for them, she said softly. It's for you. I'm freeing myself by leaving, I replied. She took my hands. Running isn't healing, Clara. Tears fell. I need distance to start. She hugged me. Promise you'll call. Don't shut us out. I promise? Leaving my parents was brutal. Dad held me tight, voice rough. Make them regret it, kid. Build a life they can't touch. Denver was lonely at first. My apartment felt cold, empty. I worked late to avoid it, eating takeout, crashing exhausted. Then Mom called, voice shaky. Clara, Lila and Marcus got married yesterday. A local paper covered their small courthouse wedding, Lila in a sleek dress, wearing my old ring. That night I drank too much wine, scrolled old photos and sobbed until dawn. I called in sick, broken. But in that low, something shifted. As sunlight hit my curtains, I decided they wouldn't own my happiness anymore. I deleted Marcus's photos, blocked them both online, and showered, imagining my pain washing away. At work, I dove in, earning bigger clients and respect. My colleague Eleanor became my first Denver friend, inviting me to her hiking group. I made connections, built a life. Elena tried setting me up, but I wasn't ready. 5 months in, I attended a marketing summit in Austin. At a client dinner, I sat beside Leo Carter, a tech investor from Portland. Unlike Marcus's flash, Leo was quiet, genuine, his calm confidence drawing people in. We talked marketing trends and he asked for my card. The next day, he emailed about coffee. For months, we kept it professional, trading client referrals. Elena noticed our lunches. He's into you, Clara, and not just for work. We're just contacts, I insisted. Contacts don't smile like that, she teased. Leo asked me to a non-work dinner. I nearly cancelled, panicking, but went. Mid-date, talking about travel, I had a panic attack, shaking, breathless, teary. Leo stayed calm, talking me through it, then drove me home. No pressure. The next day, flowers arrived with a note. No rush, no expectations. Feel better, Leo. I called, spilling everything about Marcus and Lila. He listened, then shared his own betrayal. His ex-wife left him for his business partner, taking half their company. Betrayal leaves marks, he said. Anyone worth your time gets that healing takes time. We built a friendship first. Leo respected my pace, cooking at his place to avoid crowded spots that triggered me. He knew how to ease my fears. A year after moving, I barely recognised myself. I got promoted to senior brand director with a view of the Rockies. My friend's circle grew, and I'd fallen for Leo. Unlike Marcus's grand gestures, Leo's love was steady, remembering my chai tea order, loving my true crime shows, supporting my independence. I met his brother Nate from Boise, and we hit it off, texting about books. I kept in touch with my parents, dodging Lila talk. Mum gave updates. Lila and Marcus bought a fancy Denver loft, renovating it. Lila asks about you, Mum said once. What do you say? That you're thriving. Does she feel bad? Mum sighed. She goes quiet. Therapy helped me process triggers and build trust. Nightmares faded. In July, Leo took me to Colorado's wine country. We stayed at a quaint inn, tasting wines, watching sunsets. I felt free. On our last night, in a garden under fairy lights, Leo took my hands. Clara, this year with you has been my greatest joy. He knelt holding a ring box. Fear flickered. Marcus's proposal haunted me, but Leo's eyes held only love. No pressure, he said. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. Tears came, not from pain. I'm ready, I whispered. The ring, a sapphire with tiny diamonds, was simple, like us. I called my parents, Mum crying happily. When do we meet him? Soon, I promised. We planned a small wedding for 25 at a Denver botanical garden. I sent Lila an invite at Mum's urging, more for closure than hope. Her reply was curt. Congrats, Marcus and I are busy that day. Best wishes. Mum was bummed but not surprised. Give her time. Our wedding was perfect. Parents, friends, Leo's family. Dad walked me down the aisle, whispering, You're glowing, kid. Leo's vows hit deep. Clara, I promise to cherish love's strength and fragility, earning your trust daily. We bought a townhouse, renovated it, and I became a VP. Leo's firm grew, backing ecotech startups. At a work event, a client mentioned Marcus. Kane. He and Carter were rivals years ago. Carter bet on a startup that sold for millions. Kane's tanked and he went broke. Later I asked Leo. I knew you were engaged to him, he admitted. I didn't say anything because I wanted you to know me for me. I wasn't mad. It felt like fate. 2 years in, we tried for a baby, facing setbacks. Leo held me through tests and tears, saying family comes in many forms. Then Mum's diagnosis hit. We flew to Seattle, navigating her care. Her cancer was advanced. I took leave to stay with her, Leo flying in weekends. In her final days, Mum and I talked about love, life, family. One night, adjusting her blanket, she said, I wish you and Lila could make peace. Life's too short. I know, Mum, I said, tearing up. Promise you'll try. For you and a bit for me. I promised, unsure but wanting. Her calm. She passed quietly, with Leo, Dad and me beside her. I called Lila, our first real talk in years. Mum's gone, I said. She gasped, then said, I'm there in an hour. We hugged awkwardly at the house, focusing on Dad and funeral plans. The funeral day was grey, rainy. In my old room, I fixed my black dress, Leo behind me. I'm with you, he said, hands on my shoulders. Dad sat at the kitchen table, coffee cold, looking broken at 70. Ready, Dad? I asked. He nodded. Funerals are for the living, he said. I get it now. The funeral home buzzed with family, friends. You're your mum's spitting image, Aunt Diane said. She'd be proud. Mum's friend June asked, You're in Denver now, right? Lara mentioned it. I nodded, dodging Lila's roll. As I guided Dad to our seats, Leo beside him, whispers spread. Lila and Marcus entered, her in a sleek black dress, diamond ring gleaming, him stiff in a suit, arm around her. Dad tensed. Owen, breathe, I said, fearing his heart. They approached. Lila hugged Dad, who barely responded. Marcus muttered, Sorry for your loss, getting a curt nod. Clara, Lila said, her expression unreadable. Been a while. Yeah, I replied, guarded. Marcus nodded awkwardly. Leo stepped away to check with the director. Lila seized the moment. Can we talk? She said, pointing to a side room. Against my instincts, I followed, avoiding a scene. In the small room with chairs and tissues, Lila looked worn, fine lines showing. You look tired, she said. Grief does that, I replied flatly. She twisted her ring. Marcus and I got a lake house in Tacoma last month. 6 bedrooms, private dock. We might start a family soon. His firm just bought 3 startups. We're adding a home office. Congrats, I said, emotionless. Anything about the funeral? Her smile sharpened. Just wanted you to know we're thriving. Poor you, single at 37. Her words stung, but I smiled. Have you met my husband? I opened the door. Leo was nearby. Come meet Lila. Marcus followed, seeing us. His face paled when he saw Leo. Carter, he muttered. Kane, Leo replied coolly. 7 years, right? Since Zenith bought Tech Trend. Not your pick, CompuCore. Marcus swallowed. You're married. 2 years, I said, taking Leo's hand. Leo Carter, Lila. As in Carter Ventures, she whispered. The same, Leo said. We met in Austin. Marcus tried recovering. We should talk business, Carter. My calendar's tight, Leo said. Call my office. The director signalled the service's start. As we sat, Dad clutched his chest. Dad! I called as Leo got help. We moved him to a side room, pausing the funeral. A guest doctor said it was stress, not a heart attack. Lila followed, worried. Is he okay? Stable, I said, surprised by her care. We sat in tense silence, united by concern. Dad insisted on continuing, so we returned. The funeral was beautiful, heartbreaking. My eulogy praised Mum's warmth, strength, love. Lila spoke next, faltering. Instinctively, I touched her shoulder. Take your time, I whispered. She finished sharing childhood stories that drew tears and laughs. At the cemetery, rain fell. Marcus stood apart, checking his phone. Lila stayed by Dad, her bravado gone, grief real. At the reception, Marcus drank heavily, uneasy as colleagues chatted with Leo. I heard whispers of his firm's struggles. I stayed poised, honouring Mom, supporting Dad. Lila watched me, her gaze softer. The next day, Leo had a Denver meeting. You sure you'll be okay? He asked, packing. Dad needs me to sort Mum's stuff, I said. I'll manage. After dropping him off, I found Dad in Mum's garden, flipping through a labelled photo album. She wrote who everyone was, he said. Sorting Mum's closet, each item sparked memories. Her red dress from my grad school ceremony, her polka dot skirt for family picnics, the silver gown from my engagement party. I talked to her, sharing my Denver life, my job. Leo. In her desk, I found a journal, entries spanning years, many about Lila and me, her pain over our rift. Her last entry, weeks before she died, read, My biggest sorrow is leaving my girls divided. I couldn't mend it. I hope they find each other again. Tears fell as the doorbell rang. Lila stood alone, no Marcus. I let her in. In the kitchen, I poured coffee. She looked smaller without him. Where's Marcus? Home, she said. He doesn't know I'm here. Silence hung heavy. I'm sorry about yesterday, she said. What I said was cruel. I nodded, not forgiving yet. I saw Mom's journal, she added. Her last wish was for us to make up. I found it too, I said. But making up takes more than being here, Lila. It takes truth. Tears welled in her eyes. You want truth? I'm miserable. Marcus changed after we married. Controlling, harsh. His company's failing, the houses, trips, all on debt. It's a facade. Why stay? Shame, she said. I ruined our family for this and the prenup. I'd leave with nothing. I slid the journal to her. Read it, she cried, reading. Mom knew everything. She always did, I said. I've hated myself, Lila said. Every time Mum praised you, I felt what I'd done. I'm leaving him. I've got a lawyer. I felt both vindication and pity. I don't expect forgiveness, she said, but I had to tell you before I start over. We spent hours sorting Mum's things, sharing memories, her teaching us to bake pies, her unique lunchbox notes. It wasn't healing, but it was a step. What's next? I asked as she left. Divorce when my lawyer's ready. Get an apartment. Rebuild. And you? Back to Denver with Leo. You seem happy, she said. I am, I replied. I'm glad, she said softly. We hugged briefly. Not forgiveness, but a start. In Denver, I settled into my life with Leo, our townhouse, my career. 6 months later, I was pregnant. Mum's absence stung, but I felt her in quiet moments. Lila and I texted cautiously. She divorced, moved to a small place, worked at a startup. Denver's gossip was tough, but she pushed on. Losing Marcus seemed like the end, but it led to a better life. With Leo, I found partnership, trust, love that complemented me. Mum was right. Forgiveness was for me. The pain lingered but didn't define me. In our nursery, Leo painting it blue, I thought of what I'd teach our child. Loss leads to growth. Endings spark beginnings, and hard paths lead to true ones. My life was richer than I'd imagined in those dark days. Not from betrayal, but from rebuilding with purpose. And that's a wrap on this epic Reddit story, folks. Kivemi here, signing off. What a saga. Sisterly betrayal, a comeback, and a family inching toward peace. Hit the comments with your thoughts. Keep crafting in that Minecraft world, grab another snack, and I'll catch you in the next Reddit tale. Peace out.